Pacho me met me baby no sutini baby.
Ye nyatene say what abrochiri baby. Wouldn't my witchy baby potiano?
Me Monday. Me mbisano. Nenso. News we na almost oti Poland.
Ma okay. So ti abrochiri dia ene empendo do sen e na wo hunu afie bia mu.
Okay. Me bani nya 5 years no. Na obai. 3 years later no obai. Oba na oko. Osamba 1 year later. Enche no oko. Oba 3 days time maybe sana se na yeso oko. No wasamba na oko nti obako. But this year no, last year no be stay.
Yeah, na so oba oni no ne abofra no montem te say moyon kofa say eja ne oba ena ne oba entem ya na te say
ba ne papa ne de oba ye no be stay ye no menini ye fine oba be fa kola ne reko ona ode ne ba ko ni school ko tua ni school fees nti school teachers for ni nyina nim no last year on the 12th odi ni birthday cramp no ono no ko di birthday ni man wo school mu nti teacher for ni nim no bi student ni so e bi num no nti akwat say popular nti na omukura amuso mu bisa akola ni say da bena obaba be san be di birthday amana na isan say ono na why famous wo mu school mu ono na we di birthday kese wo mu school mu nti na omu say bisa no ansa na incident we is
papa no unim no say ne nipa ban te say ne suban ne niye o te say
oh me hu say o bi o ye gidigidi na say o kan ne problem bi antinem say e bia bibisa sometimes no e wo mu say call dia bi obi be frɛ wo be hu na so later wo be ka say bia wo be frɛ na o refi me ta frɛ no onu so wo mu ana ofrɛ ba na nse no onfrɛ na me frɛ no so wakonya accident ba o wokumasi sometimes so me frɛ o so wonya accident to a hospital nti as wanya accident say 3 times or ba no as wanya accident 3 times na nso me ni ntina ase ni ndi nkomoy onu ane se me frɛ a ho te se o se ne ho ye asa no pe
Mame hwe emfuni kakra dano a asem ni siye no na wo ba no owo nchen e na obefa no anase ye hene na abofra no wo na kwan ben so e na ofa ya ne nsaka abofra no
okay last week Tuesday and you made 10 o'clock and ofre say na danfu bi wo abrochire obekọ nti opese onsusu akola no na ompam atale ni mpoba bi emfa embre no nti oba befa no Thursday 12 o'clock e wo school mu na me nti ondi ya na me say ai odi ya no say e o ti say e friend say ya o wa no kati phone nti mitina asesa na me dream na me say e na brei patch na me kinka o ma dream say adenti na obeka say Thursday oba be fa no school 12 o'clock me na me catch me hu 12 o'clock on di ya na me so me ji so say odi ya no ansa nka say aye o te say your friend ya nti akola no so on die ye nyina ye ndai ono anadi phone ni ma me na me pick call me call ni nche na me say ska say na o papa ekon o say ba be fa Thursday no ama wadan fofo bi esusu na danfo bi efi abrochi aba no we susu no apa matale ni mpobo ade ablo nto ba be fa Thursday na obisa me say odi ya na me say odi ya no ankasa sanka say ai ɛyɛ ɔte sɛ wodi ya na mbisa nse na ska obi kasa asɛm wɔ ya wo odwen ho sɛn na akola na kasa kasi nne so de mi kɔ gi skeduro ana yɛ nyinaa yɛ sere yɛ ha ha ha
me pasho akoda no te sɛ ubisa no o ka sɛ ne papa busa ne dini ɛne ne krada no akoda no ankasa kan sɛ ne papa de ne kɔ gi skeduro ana
sɛ ɔno de ɔka ne yɛ nyinaa joke ɔsɛ nne sɛ ɔde mi kɔ gi skeduro yɛ nyinaa yɛ kan sɛ jokes kɛkɛ sɛ ebi sɛ ɔmo te nsɛm ɔmo nim nsɛm sɛ o krada o ba bɛfa o krada ne nyama me de me ba na me ne ɔmo di nkɔmɔ me nso me tu ɔmo fo nti me ka sa akyerɛ no sɛ ɔno a obi sɛ ɔba bɛfa o Thursday ɔsɛ wo di ya na me so me ka sɛ o di ya na ɔsɛ ɔya ɔte sɛ yɛ frɛ wo ya nti obi ka sa asɛm wo ekyerɛ wa wo bɛdwe ho sɛn na ɔsɛ ne sɛ ɔde me kɔgye skeduro saa na akɔla ne kae me ntwa ntro ngu akɔla ne so ɛyɛ anadwo no
enti wa ka kyerɛw mo adi ho nkɔmɔ ɔba sɛ ɔbɛfa akɔda no ɔne wodi nkɔmɔ bi ansa na ɔde akɔda ne ma no anaasɛ ohyia akɔda no kwam na ɔde no kɔɔyɛ
debi sɛ ɔba bɛfa ne Thursday ɛwɔ school mu nti me ne akɔla ne kaa saa wie no ɛna Wednesday me call market nti me call me shop hɔ no no ɛna mpanyifo bi wɔ hɔ no mo ɛna me de tu ɔmo anim sɛ madam fu bi say ne ba papa ba bɛfa ne Thursday ɔkɔpam atale ama no nti ɔba bɛfa ne wɔ school mu 12 o'clock nti saa 12 o'clock no ɛyɛ Thursday no saa akɔla ne di ya ɛna me so ni maame no so sika ase ɔka ase akɔla ne di ya ɛna ne papa ne ka ase ɛyɛ ɔte sɛ yɛ frɛ ne ya nti ɔmo ti aseɛ sen advice bɛ na me fa ma enipa no ɛna ɔmo ka kyerɛ me sɛ me nkɔ ka kyerɛ madam fo ne sɛ Thursday no ɛma akɔla ne nkɔ school na ɔntena ne nkyɛn wɔ fie anaasɛ me ɔnkɔ school nim na ɔnka nkyerɛ teacherfo ne sɛ ɔpapa bɛfa akɔla na ɛma ne mfa no ɛna ekyire no eka kyerɛ ɔmo sɛ ɛnyɛ madam fu bia na ɛmi amankasa me ba sika na ne papa ba bɛfa no ɛna ɔmo kora mo yɛ me sɛ megyi mi paa me ankasa na adeɛ ne ɛyɛ me na me bisa na me sɛ o me yɛ suggestion ahwɛ nti ɛhɔ no mo no ɛna ɔmo ka kyerɛ me sɛ ɛbɛyɛ a me ma akɔla no ɔnkɔ school na ɔmbɛ tena me nkyɛn wɔ store.
If you're watching GTV Breakfast this morning, we're speaking to the mother of the child who was allegedly taken out of school by her father to be sent for money rituals. Madam Evelyn Keme is the one we're speaking to. Stay with us as we go further to find out a few more from her. She's so far giving us a little background, the man, his character, his nature, where he has been, where he was, and also the circumstances leading to how he got hold of the child, and also certain questions preceding how he got hold of the child. In fact, the child herself, from what the mother has just told us, became a bit suspicious about questions the father had asked the mother about her day of birth, her name, and other things surrounding her. And having discussed that with her friends, they told her they're suspicious, and so she should not allow the child to go to the father. Let's go back and speak some more with Madam Keme. Ma menhwe inti ubo ni nyina tugui ena oma sika eko school. Na oko school no dai ni siye.
Oko school no papa na ambefa no. Inti ni numre 3 something hono no na ofre ye say wa ba na mso de bi on mai na obi sam say tambe na omopon na mso ompon 3:30 na nso no on mai inti na ka jen say the Friday anopa oba befa no e de na akọ na msi you inti akola ne ba na me ka che ne say o papa say Friday o ba be fa wo akọ na ade chinye ta ade chinye na I expect say o be friend them te why but akola na siesie ne ho o ba be ko school nti about say 6:40 na papa ne frɛ say o ba be fa na me say akola na nkasa oni o papa ne nkasa nti odi o papa ne kasa na o ka che o papa ne say baby omo o say odi ne be kono Friday no eya ye mom homeworks bebre nti okwa ontumi enye homework no na o ka che nso omo kwa sansa omo chi abasese ya ohana o papa ne kati phone ehu anche na papa ne san frɛ say ni sister the Elizabeth me ma ne emfa ne be hia no amasama nti na omo esiesie omo ho awie nti na me ma Elizabeth ni ko hia wa amasama ba before mbe free fie no nyame ani mi ntwa ntro me ka cha akola ne say o kwa o papa to nsuo ma won kwan so a menum omo we aduane a mendi afa nsu no udru baby a obepam atale amawa omo ka se yiwa atale a menyi na mbisa akola ne se sika mede wo kwara se mene wo kwa akopam atale a ye yiwa atare ana o se da bi am se mo konso a hwe no anda o ka anim ona o se yo nti am ka se se mudru na se omo se chinchina yiwa atale a kikem na ka se me papa de mi koji skedro papa de mi koji skedro me de me catch len me ntwa ontro me catch len se wo ni mi paju ti me catch len
me pacho anye bia papa no boss ma wote se owo ohaw owo sikasem ohaw
pacho wan kan chlem
omako dru ho no wante hwe biem ebreben ena nkra beka wonsa se ne asini
nti ode ne ko e me share time say ni papa ne be frɛ nanso ni papa no wan frɛ nti wan frɛ saa no na about say 11:40 ena me receive call ono kra na me kota ade nti me weka no na de phone di mechi ena me say na man kan cho say me de me phone obi frɛ am mfa na ono say ma fa phone na ma receive call na enipa ne shout wo me so say me mfa phone ni manira me mfa phone ni manira nti enipa no kra gina phone ni so na me so on fa ma me nti ehonu mu na me gi phone na me say hello na enipa no bisa me say me ba no wo he nti o ka say me ba no wo na me so ni teacher ni ana efise onu o ko school na say wan be school a teacher ni frɛ ebisa say de nti na wan be school ana nti o say enye ni teacher ni na oye police ni na obane na ne de ode ni number ama me nti obane wo police station one ni papa sese a na obano o papa de ni kwaji skedro sana police ni oso ye police ni kan nti omwo oyibi and I'm say no yibi ni kura ewo himfa me ni mo yibi o ana say ewo adenta nti me mbra sese a nti ho ana medi mi ka me furu ka kosi wa amasama na me hia obi na me ka chense obetimia ne ka na ye correct na obi mom ka na ye correct nti ne ka na ye correct na ono se ai obetimi di mi akwa adenta na ono se ai nti ho no no na ode me ko na me ne ye suggestion wo ka nim se na police ni na frame moreover no nipa no so ya igbeni ana o ka se o hia ni nua ba na sasema to ne de wo se ode me ko nti na ode me call ye saa na ekodu Adenta police station.
Right. So once again, thank you very much for joining us. We're coming to you live from Dar es Salaam, somewhere near Amasama. We're speaking with Madame Evelyn Keme, the mother of the child who was allegedly going to be used for money rituals somewhere last week. We saw the videos on social media and how the circumstances in which the father was handcuffed and taken away. I asked her about the circumstances of the father, whether or not the father had ever mentioned whether he has any financial problems. And she said, as far as she's concerned, no, the man has never mentioned any such issues with her. Also, whether or not the relationship between father and child. And she explained the father has been really very nice with the child, even though they don't live together. On the child's birthday last year, which was the 12th of September, it was the father who threw a big party in her school. And so every now and then her friends will ask when the next birthday will be and when daddy will show up. I asked her also about the circumstances leading to how the child got to the father. And she explained that the father had called previously to ask about the child's name, the day she was born. And when she discussed that with the child, the first thing the child could say was, given what questions my dad is asking about my name and my day of birth, could it not be that he wanted to use me for money rituals? And they both laughed over it. And then when she went to work the next day, she discussed the same thing with some of the women who trade with her, where she does her chop bar. Chop bar is a mini eatery in our local parlance. We call it chop bar. It could be a restaurant anyway. And so after she had done the discussion, friends who work with her told her that given that the man had called you to say he is coming for the child on that day, please don't give the child away to him. And if it is possible, don't let the child go to school. Keep the child at home and don't allow the child to go. Indeed, she didn't pay so much attention to it. She allowed the child to go. But before the child went to school, she warned the child and said, if your father comes for you, on the way, he buys you water, don't drink. If he buys you food, don't drink. If he buys you food, don't eat. And even in the car, do not sleep. Indeed, the father came home, sent someone to come for the child at home on the Friday morning. And so not even from the school, he got hold of the child from home. So the mother released the child to a sister of the father who somewhere halfway from Dar es Salaam to Amasama handed the child over to the father. And she also warned the child that if you get to where you're going, given that your father says he wants to sew you a dress, and so you're going to be measured by the seamstress, when you get there and they ask you to take off your dress, say no, because anytime I have taken you to a seamstress to sew you a dress, we don't take off your clothes. So don't take off your clothes. And if they insist you do, scream and shout, my father wants to use me for money rituals. How all this came to play even before the actual event occurred, for me, beats my imagination. But yes, that is the circumstances leading to how the child got to the father. And so all that happened, fast forward, she was there, the child had gone, and in the somewhere around midday, she got a call, and then her phone was brought to her. On the phone was a police officer who was screaming at her, where is your child? And then when she had mentioned where the child was at the time, she was invited to come to the police station at OEB, and she even said she doesn't even know there. And so she went, looked for a car, and met a man who's an Ewe man who offered to drive her to the Oyibi police station, where she was reunited with her child. Let me go back to her finally and take this from her. Madam, medase se oni edi nkomo ukodru police station ho anasa omodo ko fie ho a baby ana abofra no aye hu wo video no mu no
me kodru police station ho Oyibi police station na me kodru ye na mo se akola anada nti omo wankasa na omo twen saa na akola ne sorry o sole ye na police woman ba akode ne bai obe ohumia na obe ha game no ye matu na omo nyina omo kasa ampa ye ne ba nti hono mo no na omo ye ko tro ye numu nsem na akola no so omo ne tro ne numu nsem nti akola ne numu nsem na ono tro ye na memeti ye na akola ne tro ye na sese na memeti ye na akola ne se omo kono na oduru baabi na okacho papa se ọbẹnum nsuo na papa to nsuo ni maa no na me nti oto nsuo ni maa no nti omo sai kọ kakra no na so obedidi omo kọ kakra na papa kọtọ efiewura e de baaye oto efiewura na de baaye no omo sai kọ kakra na
efiewura na ye bag ya ye di nyoma gumu efiewura so ame
papa kọtọ ye omo kọtọ na omo kọ kakra na papa se omo bedidi omo nko didi na omo kọ didi ye na mbisa se oni hwan na kọ didi ye na omo se na police ni bisa ne se oni hwan na kọ didi ye na se oni driver ni na kọ didi ye na omo sambet na akenim nti omo kọ kakra na papa ka che driver ni se onsi na ontwen driver ni nsi na ontwen na omo ba ti driver ni si ye no na ono ni papa no omo kọ ye nti omo kọ ye no na omo kọ duru bebe na papa park car no na omo si ye na papa de safua no ma me bi ho na ma me no ton provisions e wo ho no na de papa safua ne ma ne se oba nti o ka so oba na omo so omo nanti kakra anchepe no omo wura efie kese bi mu gate da no nti gate da no na omo ko tena ase oni ni papa nyina tena ase nti omo tena ase na obi baaye abefa papa de koye nti o papa koye anche no papa ne san baaye oba epena omo ka kire ono akwala ne se onko tena edan bi wo ho no mu nti ono ko tena okọ dan ni mu okọ tena dan ni ohun stool wo ho no mu ahemfo stool wo ho no mu na golden knife e wo ho no mu nti ma me ne bisan se ohun ahemfo stool ni golden knife no we nsura na o si debi o ho ye palace
okupie ho ma me hwe wankasa ebra okupie police station ho a unya hunu se nia anka ekosie nu na afi utwa ubu nkompo kohwe enkomo a oni oba no abo ne ensem a monkeka ye na ekoba ne sa no na etewsen wankasa na etewsen
okay mi bo shake nenso anya mi beble e se mi ka chen se omo kwa eduru honum na se bibisa na onja ne no nkike mu se papa de mi koye skedro ntino me fi se bia onu na okọ oshi obi na kache na nipa niko police station nti na bia police for ne firm no omo ka se akola na di mi number omo se akola na di mi number ne ma omo se on free me nti minim se bia akola na akoka che police for ne se ebi ni papa de ni koji skedro efisa se na ya ka no wo fie ni ntino nti ma free o papa line no me ntwa ntro ma free nti ma adwini se me call police station wona se ampa se asem na ye kan nti na oka sa ache police for na de na no onimo papa number nti midu ha nkrofo ne be bisa me o papa number ohonum na me de ama no ebi nso na papa no akola na adwane afri ni nchen ana ebi o hwehwe no nti na me manfre o papa line no sa na me ye ma adwen nti na manfre papa line no
finally efri se odi akwala no ba fie no akwala no ne ni ye ni suban eden na u feel say asesa anase eden ni nia ni si ye no de abre akoda no
oh se ye de me mba ne de me mfa bibia nsi omo efi se mia na metete omo nti bibia omo so omo hwe tv phone si so omo hwe so nti me nya omo han nti bibia besi bia no ye nyina ye di hu ye discuss nti omo no o fi se bia ebia papa ni omo hu nti no me ye bibia me ma obi ehu se me ni adaje me djuma ye me djuma nti me ma omo hu me bibia nti wono ombo shake kra
nti se uja na kwan se onku school a na nije oba ye na nije me ba ma be hu se odi agro ba me nchen ni den na asesa won ni suban mu den na asesa won se ne osifa ya na de
se na ye ti dada no sa bibia nsesa won ho ye ba ntina police for no se ebi on be ku ni school nia ebe ya ne pen se ye kwa asori Sunday no kola bi na ye no se una ye do u papa do kwa koji schedule u ye I say we scapegoat and I do kwa ko just akola bi na edi di no rough akola ba ko pe ba o kire me akola no
yɛda ase paa sɛ oni yɛn adi nkɔmmɔ ma bɛhu sɛ grandma ɛwɔ ha o uncle so ɛwɔ ha abusuafo wɔ aburokyire nso afrɛ wo bebree borɔno a wote so no sɛn ɛna ɔmo nso ɔmo fa asɛm esi yɛ
bebree aba na ɔma aba hyɛ yɛn kran ɔma aba hyɛ yɛn kran.
Medase, thank you very much once again for joining us. I've been speaking with Madame Evelyn Keme, the mother of the child who was allegedly going to be used for money rituals by her father. I've asked her a few questions, and in the last few minutes, I asked what the relationship with the child and the father had been, and as far as she's concerned, everything has been okay. And I asked when the child had left and they had gone and the call came to her that this is what had happened, how did she feel? And she said, well, given that they've discussed it, she felt perhaps the child had run away and had gone to the police to allege that in fact, that is what the father had wanted to use her for. And so for her, leaving home and getting to the police station, she didn't even call the husband's or the father's number because her plan was to get to the police station, get hold of the child, and if it is exactly as they had discussed before the child left, then she would explain to the police that had been the plan. And so then from there, she will call the man, but then arriving there, she realized that's exactly what it had been. And then the child was made to write her statement. So what she gleaned from the child's statement was how she got to the house, and when she got there, what was there. This has been the special sit down with the mother of the child who was allegedly going to be used for money rituals by her father. Her name is Evelyn Keme. As always, my name is Darrell Alan Tego. This has been #GTV Breakfast. Thank you very much. Take it over, Kafui.
And thank you very much for the interview, very extensive. We have two questions that we want to ask you from my guest. Bright, what's the question you wanted Alan to ask Evelyn?
Yes, my question is that I find out from the woman when they handed the child to her, what was the processes like?
Okay.
By the police.
Okay, and then Christine?
He said that the woman said that they live separately. So I wanted to know about the access that the man has to the child. How often the man would go and see her.
Okay. So Alan, two questions. Access. How often does the man get to see his daughter? And what were the processes like when the police stepped in? If you can briefly ask Madame Keme. Okay, so we're going to establish that link with Alan and get back to him to answer those two questions. This is GTV Breakfast. My guest in studio, Bright Appiah, Executive Director.
Movie I miss you too. Hey, can I say? Movie I miss you too. Can I say boko? Mama kwaba. Me ana me frɛ mo. Me ye herbalist. Am ye bibidro yi bi ha. Papa we efra bucha bagana. Ɛna ɔse no man koyie ma no. Ba wo ma 12. Nti ni ma 12 no wo no. Opese me kumutu na me yeske dro ma no. Me ye military man. I'm a disciplined man. Me ntia anya bɔne. Nti I want to prove to the whole world. Any moment me tell me man tell mo say, traditional herbalist enye nipa bɔne for. Enye widi for ye nkunkum nipa. Send you more Nigeria film ni Ghana film no. This man is a bad man. You need to know Kroma Ye. Akolano de Bass and Kunifan schedule, Akolano. Oh, how are you? Okay, my name is Nane Dubois Jr. Okay? What's the name of your father? Ivan Sopon. Okay. Your father brought you here so that I'll kill you, so that he'll get money. So he brought, oh, don't be scared, my daughter, don't be scared. So I brought the police in to come and save you. So the police will take care of you, okay? The man is a policeman, they'll take care of you, okay?
Okay. What's your name?
Akola no was school. And Uncle China free school aba. Tell me couldn't find yes Dromano.
Raise your head.
Money in the bag, not the bag of the Bajis can money back in the police one.
Raise your head.
Why? It's okay. Why? It's okay. The video is don't.